Hi lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Delusional. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video. So lovely, so I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where the sister asked this question that got the entire, people reacting to it about why is it that the world is against people that looks like me. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational purposes. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
I honestly think, what did black people do to make the world hate us so much? So like my first initial thought is, okay, mother and father of humanity, cool, but go deeper. We taught certain people how to wash and bathe themselves. No, go deeper. We were very, very advanced civilizations, but Africa got colonized. Go deeper. Something must have happened. Some sort of oppression must have happened with a certain race of people that made the scales have to balance out. We must have did something millennia ago. Something must have fucking happened. Hey, Cleo, what you think happened? Okay, she doesn't know. But yeah, I just think about that sometimes. Like, okay, what did we do to make the world hate us so much? Hate us so much.
Oh, sis, we didn't die after slavery. That's actually an easy one. We were supposed to work until we died, and when we were no longer useful, that was it. What do you think Jim Crow and redlining? We were supposed to die, and we didn't. Now they're mad. Not only did we not die, but we are the blueprint. There you go.
This idea that black people have to earn their way out of racism is completely backwards. So I understand you as saying that if, as the result of the actions of some people, a group has acquired the reputation for harming other people, then the negative attitudes and treatment the entire group receives is understandable and justified. And what's more, if that group wants those negative attitudes and treatments to change, they have to do better. I highly suggest that you re-examine this belief in light of the fact that at the point at which Europeans labeled black people black, and by extension labeled themselves white, they are the ones who proceeded to loot, kill, and grape their way around 84% of the world for centuries. Because I don't think you feel that it would justify if people of the global majority were to treat white people the way that white people have treated black people, and maybe consider yourself lucky that we don't. Now, with respect to these black crime rates that people like you so love to inflate, if racism were to cease to exist today, those crime rates would automatically and instantly drop, because we wouldn't have innocent black people being arrested and incarcerated for nothing, and we wouldn't have black people being arrested and incarcerated for infractions that white people get away with all the time. But also, if you systematically oppress a group of people for centuries, it will create negative behaviors, and it shows the infinite grace of black people that it hasn't created more. And what's more, the people that it harms the most are black people themselves. So if you want these crime rates to drop, it is racism that has to cease to exist first.
When y'all try to compare the struggles and experiences of other people of color to the struggles and experiences of black folk, y'all like to forget one critical detail, and that is that everybody hates black people. And I'm not saying this to be victim-y here, but the truth is almost every culture has some component of either anti-Blackness or at least colorism, which is discrimination against dark-skinned people. So when people say, oh, I'm insert race or ethnicity here and I don't feel this way, black people are being dramatic. No, black people have a different experience from you, especially if they're darker skinned, because everybody's got beef with us. It might seem like we're sensitive or nitpicky, but that's because so many key parts of life are built on a foundation of anti-Blackness and colorism, which means that, yeah, there's an issue in a lot of the things we do in a day. And when someone points that out, it's not because they love being the victim. I know I personally would much rather live a life where this doesn't impact me on a day-to-day basis, but it does. And if you are exhausted of hearing us all the time, imagine how we feel.
Afrocentrism and Bpeple are the same and lay on the same basis as Zionism. It lays on the basis of erasure of indigenous history and stealing and appropriation of history.
Let's use this as an opportunity to learn about what afrocentrism actually is and why it is harmful to use it in a derogatory manner and compare it to Zionism. Afrocentrism is an intellectual cultural movement that considers the experiences, history, and perspectives of Black people in the African diaspora. It challenges Eurocentric narratives by emphasizing the importance of African contributions to global civilization. Afrocentrism seeks to reclaim Black people's heritage and promote pride in our cultural and historical legacies. As a scholarly field of study, Afrocentric scholars seek to correct historical inaccuracies and biases that have marginalized or misinterpreted African contributions to world history and culture. Discrediting Afrocentrism can be harmful because it undermines all of these legitimate efforts, and by dismissing Afrocentrism, one perpetuates the marginalization and erasure of African perspectives and Black perspectives. Even more, comparing Afrocentrism to Zionism is highly problematic because Afrocentrism is a response to the oppression and dehumanization of African people and the diaspora under colonialism, slavery, and systemic racism. In complete contrast, Zionism is a settler colonial project rooted in the genocide of Palestinian people. Joy, a Black creator on here, compassionately called you in on your oversights in discussing Black and African diaspora-related topics, and you immediately reduced her words and labor to semantics and personal experience as opposed to your facts.
I really don't think that I can engage in a conversation simply because I stated historical facts and you have stated mostly a personal experience and semantics. So we're not in the same category.
More than that, you also took it upon yourself to determine what anti-Blackness is and is not as a non-Black individual. Joy called you in on how you also create a space for deeply problematic and overwhelmingly anti-Black comment sections as a result of your content, with commenters referring to us as uneducated and worse. And instead of taking Joy's words seriously, you like comments that support these harmful narratives, and I even saw a comment that you liked calling Joy out of her name. It is probably a good idea at this point to listen to Black people instead of speaking down to us on our issues because you show your ignorance and, yes, anti-Blackness as well.
I think a lot of people don't take Black and Indigenous genocide for what it is. And that has been showing through a lot of conversations that are reoccurring on this app. Whether people think Black Americans are privileged or not is besides the point. I think a lot of people don't realize what the police are and what they aren't. And a lot of people don't realize what Black Americans are and what we aren't. Same with Indigenous Americans, but I can only speak on what I'm socialized as. I think people don't realize that when it comes to trafficking, when it comes to wars, when it comes to sexually violent crimes, and when it comes to missing girls and women, these things are racialized and gendered. There's specifically a femicide happening in the United States against Black women, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. Technically, you could also say there's an infanticide, but also there's an epidemic of missing Indigenous women, and a lot of people don't educate themselves about that or what that truly means. So I think before you want to school Black people and Indigenous people on how privileged we are, especially with ongoing issues, I think you should educate yourself about our oppression. And that's not to say we are or aren't privileged. It's just to say make sure you're educated on what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite.
Seriously, lovely, sometimes I ask myself the same question. Sometimes I was like, why is it that even without doing nothing, even just with mind your business, trying to do your thing, trying to survive, trying to create something for yourself, you will still be disliked, all because of the color of your skin. Even if you are so qualified to ascertain a particular position, for instance, a job position, like let's talk about this guy who been looking for a job for a very long time. He's been searching for a job, until he decided that he was going to just trying to change something on his CV, and he put a name that doesn't describe an African or a Black name or something. That was when he was called. That was when he was called for the said job that he has been applying and getting rejected. Then when he got this call, then he decided to sue these people because they had been discriminatory. But apart from that,
Why is it that anytime, people that looks like me, you know, a lot of people, like, they don't want to get associated, they just want to, like, discriminate, like, I also keep asking myself such question, because all of the stitches I've been putting up here, it's all about, the things that you have to go through for being someone that looks like me. Then I decided that, okay, why? Like, why is this so? I wouldn't blame the sister for asking the same question, because sometimes you just have to pause and ask, like, what really happened? Apart from all of the things that has to do with, slavery, and, even the fact that people that looks like me worked hard, they were the one that is still enslaved, they were the one that was treated unjustly, but they are still the one that is being disliked. Like, these people are the one that is being maltreated. They are the one, that's passed through what they call chattel, right? They are the one that was hurt the most, but they are still the one that is being disliked the most. Like, it does not really make sense. Like, truly, there is more to it. There is more to this, not being likable. There is more to it. I think there is something that is not being said, apart from, or will I even say it's because they are the first people that ever existed in the planet Earth, or the chosen ones, or, like, seriously, this is just a question that, even with all of the things that is happening, you just have to pause for a while and ask, but what is the real issue? What is the real problem? Why is it so? Why, even if you're minding your business and trying to do whatever you want to do, you will still not be appreciated, And so someone left comment in a section on this this Asian woman, yeah, circumference. Somebody left a comment there talking about how people that look like me have to end not being racist to us by reducing the amount of crimes that is being committed by people that look like me. Like, are you talking about the crimes that is being forcefully, like the crimes that is being put against you? Like, most of the crimes and the arrests and all of that, majority of it is just something that's normal someone would do. I won't say normal. It's just something that pan-colored person will do and get away with it. But when it's someone that looks like me does it, then you cannot ever get away with it, and you will end up maybe being, charged for something. Is it the crime you're talking about? Is it the crime? What about these recent crimes that has been happening? Was it done by, people that looks like me? Let's talk about the recent ones, the shootings and all of that. The pupils in school, the, cinemas and all of that. Is it people that looks like me that does that? Seriously, they make it look as if all of the crimes that's been committed are just, people that looks like me without, like, if it's people that looks like me, it's a crime, it's a big thing, like, oh my god. But if it's the other way around, you wouldn't even hear people saying or have anything to say about it. Seriously, somebody can easily be minding his or her business, trying to create something, create wealth, or trying to develop his or herself. Someone will just want to spite you and want to see your reaction, and when you react, they term you aggressive. All of the careers and all of the things that has been on social platform for lately, who are those people that is doing those things? Who? Is it people that looks like me? Just look at the other one that happened. Was it two weeks back? Of this gentle, 18-year-old teenager on his own. He was just on his own. And some group of pan-colored people decided to, intimidate him. Seriously. I think there is still more to it. That was the way the sister asked this question. I decided to put it off here, but I asked to actually know what is the problem. What is it that people that look like me have done? What? Anyway, lovelies, leave us your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.
I've watched up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.